Hello and welcome. The 8D problem-solving method is widely practiced in various industries due to its team approach, structured analysis, and sustainable solutions. The 8D problem-solving process was established in the early 1980s by the Ford Motor Company. Their goal was to standardize and improve the capability of problem-solving in their supply chain. It was launched under the name of Team-Oriented Problem-Solving using the 8 disciplines. This approach became a standard tool for problem solving by Ford suppliers. Specifically, where the root cause was unknown, the problem was complex with potentially several contributing causes, and a cross-functional team approach was needed due to the complex nature of the problem. The name 8D stands for 8 disciplines based on the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle. These are to form a team, describe the problem, contain the problem, identify root causes, develop permanent corrective actions, implement them, prevent recurrences, and finally, to recognize and congratulate the team. The time a team spends in each of the 8 stages of the 8D problem-solving process varies depending on the complexity of the problem, the availability of data, the urgency of the issue, and the resources available. Let's look at some general guidelines. The D0 preparation phase can be relatively quick, from a few hours to a day. Forming the team can take from a few hours to a couple of days, depending on the organization's size and structure. Accurately describing the problem could take several days, as it requires gathering and analyzing initial data. It may take a few hours to a few days to implement short-term actions to contain the problem. The root cause investigation stage is often time-consuming, taking several days to weeks. Selecting and testing corrective actions can take from a few days to several weeks, depending on the complexity of the actions and validation required. The D6 implementation phase can vary greatly, from weeks to months, based on the corrective actions we select. Making changes to systems, processes, and policies to prevent the problem from recurring can take weeks or even months. Team recognition is typically a single event, lasting a few hours at most. The key is not to rush through these stages of activity, but to give each discipline the attention it requires to thoroughly address the problem and prevent recurrence. An important part of the 8D process is for the team to document its work at each stage. For example, in the D1 stage, we list the team members and their roles. In the D2 stage, we describe the problem in detail in that section. Document the immediate containment actions in the D3 section. The results of the root cause analysis in the D4 section, including any diagrams or graphs to support our findings. In the D5 section, we describe our permanent corrective actions. And in the D6 section, we document our implementation steps and validation methods for these actions. We outline the systemic changes or improvements made to prevent the problem from recurring in D7, and the D8 section recognizes and congratulates the team. We must use the approved 8D form and follow any customer requirements for the format, reporting, and record keeping. Before starting an 8D project, there is a D0 stage for planning, preparation, and emergency response. Part of the D0 activity is to decide whether 8D is the right approach for a specific problem we wish to address. The 8D framework is best suited to address major, critical, chronic, and recurring problems. 8D is appropriate when the problem complexity is beyond the ability of one expert or person to solve. It's also effective when communication during problem solving must extend across departments, company levels, suppliers, or customers. And of course, when the customer requires the use of the 8D approach. It's important to note that the 8D approach is less effective and may not be suitable in some situations. These include where the problem can be solved quickly by individual effort, has known root causes, is non-recurring, or has a simple, obvious, and adequate solution. The 8D approach is effective for addressing complex problems, but it requires that an organization is ready to commit the time and resources to it. Specifically, the 8D approach takes weeks or months to follow the structured steps and solve a problem. An 8D project requires forming a cross-functional team with a minimum of 4 people, often from 4 or more different areas of the organization. And of course, the team requires senior management support for the time, resources, and authority to make the necessary changes to address the problem. There are 3 main benefits to adopting the 8D problem-solving approach. First, the 8D approach promotes customer satisfaction. By practicing a disciplined approach to identifying symptoms, implementing emergency response actions, addressing causes, and preventing recurrence, we protect the customer from the adverse effects of problems. In addition, we can deepen our understanding of customers by adopting reflecting customer requirements, such as terminology, documentation, reporting, containment measures, and specific analysis methods into our approach. Second, practicing the 8D approach supports continuous improvement. When we follow a standard process to solve problems and communicate lessons learned across the organization, we become faster and better at finding and addressing problems quickly. In other words, 8D provides a framework or a practice pattern that we can repeat and refine. Last but not least, the 8D approach plays a key role in empowering people to find and address the root causes of problems. This is because 8D teams have the authority, responsibility, and accountability for taking containment measures, implementing corrective actions, preventing any recurrence, and recommending future process improvements. Together, these benefits help us build a prosperous and sustainable organization. That wraps up our review of 8D problem solving. We'll see you soon.